Okay, so continuing on, what kind of complications does repairing a fence while still standing have? And it uses replacing non-standard dimensional lumber with standard dimensional lumber. So because the posts were non-standard, the posts were notched as well. Having to notch the post, and I'm doing that with a dado blade on my radial arm saw. But because the rails are of 2 dimensions, I actually have a multi-dimensional notch here to fit, in the larger case, a nominal 2x4. And then on the other half, we have the existing lumber, which is a true 2x3. So you get kind of amusing little situations like that. The other thing is, because I'm replacing this fence in situ, and most of the pickets I'm not replacing, I don't really have access to the front of the fence, so I don't really want to, ordinarily when you tie in a rail to a post, you do it through the rail side of the fence, you know, with nails or screws or whatever. But I don't really have that option. Also, the fence drops away immediately on the other side, so it's not even good footing on the other side. So what I've done is gone ahead and bought one of these Kreg jigs, and I've actually put pocket screws on the post side of the fence, and so that I can nail into the either new or existing rail. So what I do in there, in this case, I have 2 and 2 on the other side, because I have 2 different rails meeting at the post. On the bottom rail is an existing piece of lumber, that the 2x3 that goes in. So just put 1 screw on one side and 2 on the other. That's a 3-point connection, which is plenty good enough for a short fence. The other thing that's interesting about this post is, as I mentioned before, the posts are non-standard. The posts are a true 4x3, and this is a nominal 4x4, 3.5 square. So what I've had to do is pull out my dado blade and actually shape this post, profile this post, so that it'll go into the existing footing. So I have like something like 14 or 15 inches of dado where this post has actually been turned down to meet that 3x4 hole. Then what I'm going to do is, when I set it in, there is a gap, and I just tamp in the concrete between the existing footing and the post, which is, you know, smaller in the 1 dimension. It's not a true 4. I have a 1/2 inch gap. I use a piece of rebar to ram that concrete home. So I put the concrete in kind of incrementally and tamp it home, so it's pretty good. And it's making for a real stout fitting, so it's working out pretty good. So the bottom line is, this is there's sort of more to repairing this fence than you might think. It's more labor intensive than is probably really warranted. If I were paying for the labor, probably wouldn't do it this way. But since I'm retired and my labor is relatively free, I'm making complex fence posts like this one. So that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Bye-bye.